Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, Dragos. Hello, Ian. How is the nights going? I am munching on some what even is this? Oh, they're Cheetos. Okay. Yeah. I forgot as I was eating them. It's one of those days. It's one of those days for sure. Bag of jerky. Ooh. Ah. It sucks that like all the jerky I can buy over where I live fucking sucks because it's all like the store brand shit. And it's so hard to get like good jerky or fresh jerky. It's sad. Anytime I like visit family in Minnesota, that's like one of the things I do is I just go to a nearby gas station and buy like a cooler's worth of beef jerky and just freeze it. Know what I mean? Because like the gas stations over there and like the rural parts of Minnesota, they usually like double as convenience stores or restaurants, and they just have their own butcher like spot, and they just make their own jerky, and it's like lit. That shit's great. Anyway, you know, it's been a minute since I've seen these characters. I love the cast of Password. It's so nice to see them. Granted, we're gonna be hanging out with Hasu, you know, everyone's favorite lion. Are there other lion characters? I mean, I guess there's like, is there? You think lions would be more popular as like a route option? Weird. But okay, I think it's this one. I think this one's it. You know, it's good. Man, Password's gonna be wrapping up soon, isn't it? Like sometime in like the next half a year or something. That's weird. Feels bad. Scroll back. Oh yeah, this happens. I forgot. Yeah. God, he's a good bear. Good bear. Look at this. Look at this lad. And those 2 VMs in a row I'm streaming in which we got Big Bear. Big Bear go in for hug. Okay. Okay, where are we? There we go. I honestly forgot what we did last time. I don't know. It's fine, we'll get through it. It's all good. My head was pounding, even unconscious. I could tell that I've been placed somewhere cold and uncomfortable. I was certain that some time had passed while I had been jumped in the woods. Whether or not the day had ticked over yet, I don't know. They all headless chickens? Oh, right. Went out one by one, didn't come back. Oh, okay. No. Okay. They sent Benson unconscious body to them too. Oh, right. That was a thing. Yeah, where we drugged Benson. Yeah, the little leggy boy. I could feel it. What? I could feel it first. The the dirty wooden boards underneath me, and the cold chill of a draft coming in from somewhere nearby. My hands had been tied behind my back, the bindings cutting into my skin under the fur. What I could hear was the sound of gruff voices, a muffled cackle from an adjoining room, maybe. But what hit me was the smell. It was damp, dusty, and spicy in a way I couldn't place. And just the faintest lingering scent of it crossed with the unmistakable one of blood. I sat up immediately and had a good look around the room. Rusty metal hooks hang from the ceiling, but aside from that, it just looks like a dirty room inside a wooden shack. Though there was one thing in the room that brought some comfort. Ty? I shuffled closer to him, headbutting him lightly. Oh, we're with the boy! Okay. Headbutting him lightly to try and wake him up. He was breathing and groaned after nudging him a few times.
What the fuck?
Oh, wait, here. Let me, I'm going to do this so I can actually see chat. So I can see chat better. Yeah. Wait, was that the way Dave described Tyson smelling? Yeah, he did. Like way before, he was like he's spicy, and I'm like, what does that even mean? What is that? I don't understand. That's fine. That's fine. Ty, what are you doing here? Where are we?
Dave? The fuck are you doing here?
I asked first. The moment I spoke, I heard the voices stop, and I backed up against the wall. But nothing happened, and no one came to check on us. Ty seemed to get the idea that we should keep our voices down, looking away from the door to the room back to me.
Why didn't you stay at the house?
Because you left.
You're a fucking idiot.
So are you. I'm just glad you're okay. What happened anyway?
I got jumped while looking for Dean in Roswell.
Yeah, well... yeah. But why did you go out there? Dean had it handled.
Yeah, real handled. With how he got back after sunset.
Maybe something just delayed him.
I wasn't going to risk that.
So instead you risked yourself?
And you, apparently. Why the fuck didn't you stay at the house?
Because I was worried about you. You shouldn't have run off.
Well, we're fucked now. Who knows what's going to happen?
How long have you been here?
No clue. You only just got here too.
Woke up, more like. Do you know why we have our hands tied?
No, but show me your hands. Could probably bite through.
Okay.
What they have you caught up with.
Is that a good idea? Shouldn't we sit tight and not do anything wrong just in case they get mad?
Dave, I swear to God, turn around so I can free you.
Dave, wait, he headbutted me on the shoulder to insist on me turning around and started biting at whatever it was that had me restrained. I thought you had an easy time biting through things, Ty.
It's some sort of thick plastic, like a zip tie, but heavy duty.
I heard the snap and my hands were free. Ty quickly shifted around so I could do the same.
Hurry up, let's get out of here.
He was right. It looked like some sort of zip tie, but way thicker. It almost seemed like overkill to use on us, but but on someone like Sal, I could possibly understand the need. I rub my tooth as I pull away, the plastic snapping and freeing Ty. I think I chipped a tooth.
Well, we'll get a look at it when we're out of here.
He grabbed me quickly by the shoulder and hugged me close. It was close to a squeeze, but it made me feel better, if only a little.
Do you remember anything that might be useful? Anything that could get us back?
No. We both froze when we heard footsteps coming our way, pretending that we were both still had our hands tied. Oh, great. They're awake.
If they keep quiet, we don't need to worry about anything.
He was probably a quiet cryptid. Shut up, Ian. It's fine. It's fine. Sure, we can't rough them up a little. For fun.
Best leave them alone. Don't want to go upsetting the boss.
And Killjoy.
Hey. What? You gonna let us go? If we play nice. Not up to me.
It's up to the boss. Though after what your friend did, I don't think he'd be too keen on just letting people go. Our friend?
Which one?
You know which one.
If he knew, do you think he'd ask?
Dom pulled Jack backwards by the shoulder when he went to make a go for Tyson, directing him back towards the door.
You two just sit tight. The boss will be back soon.
With Jack complaining, Dom guided him out of the door and they disappeared. I could hear them talking, if muffled, as they walked away, leaving the two of us alone again. So, one of them did something.
Reckon it was Roswell or Dean.
Doesn't matter. We still don't know where either of them are.
Well, I don't want to stick around and find out what happened when their boss comes back. If they had us tied, it wasn't going to be good.
They might have just wanted us out of the way, but having met Memphis before, yeah.
Ready to make a break for it.
How? Just rush out of the room and hope they don't catch us?
Yes.
Ty, Jack can outrun me. He could probably outrun the both of us. Plus, he'd have Dom. Yeah, he'd have Dom to help him.
Shit. So we're sneaking out.
Of the room? A window?
Not as if we were the option here. Have the option here.
He gestured gestured towards where they would have had a window if it wasn't boarded up.
We're not getting through that without making a bunch of noise or tools anyway.
So then how?
The next time it quiets down, let's sneak out. They have to sleep at some point. And if they sleep in shifts,
or hear us,
you have a better idea.
He huffs, tugging at his fur.
Look, if it comes to it, I'll distract them so you can get away all right. It was my dumb move coming out here alone anyway.
And it was mine to follow you. We're getting out together.
I'm not going to talk you out of that, huh?
Nope, but obviously, we need to be careful. You didn't happen to pick up a weapon or anything, did you?
Yeah, sure. Just happened to stash one while I was tied up and left unconscious.
Oh, good.
Dave.
Hey, you can't blame me for being hopeful. I must have dropped my flashlight out in the woods, so I don't even have that anymore. His iconic flashlight.
Don't think it do much anyway. Might blind one of them, but you'd probably break it trying to hit one of them with it.
I sat back against the wall and Ty followed suit, leaning against me. Do you think the others are okay?
Probably.
Even Dean and Roswell? Why would we care? Specifically about Roswell, anyway.
I guess.
Not really reassuring, Ty.
What do you want me to say? That everything's fine?
I mean, yeah.
And if it's a lie?
Well, you might have a point. He took my hand, making me flinch, but I quickly looked at him. It's fine. I saved it. It's fine.
Hey.
What?
I know what it's like. Not perfect, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't bother me.
Why?
He is fine. Because you're my brother. Your family. You made me worry going into the force by yourself, especially after the others did, but...
But what?
You wouldn't be you. Wait. You wouldn't be you any different? Wait. You wouldn't be you? Okay. He scoffed, shaking his head slightly, but I continued all the same. Just sometimes I wish I understood you better, but other times I like not knowing you entirely. That would be nicer if I could tell when you were going to actually go and do something dumb, so I don't worry. Sentence? What? That sentence made no sense to me. I don't understand. I'm like, was that proper? Was that do I just not understand the sentence? That's probably it.
Hey, I'm not that bad, am I?
You're up and down, kinda.
Meaning?
I'm used to you getting excited suddenly over fried chicken or pumpkin bread, but then also being broody and annoying when something's bothering you and without talking about why.
I don't think I get what you're trying to say.
I'm just saying that as it is. You're my brother. As you are, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Even if you make some really dumb decisions sometimes. He hugged me roughly, though once he had his arms around me, he settled. He settled, letting me return the favor. There was a comfort having him this close, but both of us had some ears trained on the voices somewhere. Elsewhere, wanting for them to die down. And time continued to pass with us in that room. It was hard to say how long, but eventually the voices stopped. We heard a door open and close, but that's about it. I didn't dare move, but Tyson was the first to decide enough was enough. He peeled away and crept towards the door, placing his ear against it to try to get a feel for what was happening. Then, presumably, having heard nothing, he cracks the door open slightly and peeked into whatever was on the other side. Anything? He quickly held his hand up without looking my way. Eyes locked on the other side of the door. This game is cursed. I don't know why. It's like basically only with this game. It's fine though. It's fine though.
Come quietly.
Shuffling over my hand on knees, I stopped next to him, looking looking expectantly. He eased the door open more, and I saw that it opened up into a small hallway, a room directly across from us with the open door. Tyson stuck his head out, peering down the hallway before slipping out to the other room, and gesturing for me to follow. Not knowing what to be looking out for, I took his lead and snuck around. It appears to be a makeshift door. What beds were there seemed rickety and hardly high quality, but showing signs of use. More notably, it had a window that Tyson made a beeline for and cracked it open, looking back at me.
Come on.
Ty? He groaned. He'd gone through a window first, dropping down onto the soft ground below. And not that it was a drop given. We were on the level already, but Tyson hasn't followed. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let me look at the audio real quick. Let me turn up the game audio just a little bit, I don't know if it's loud or soft, so we'll do that for a moment, right? Backing up a little, I tried. Oh, hello, Selkie. I tried to catch sight of him, still inside the room, without standing up properly, just in case someone had caught him. But then he quickly hopped out the window and took me by the hand, guiding me away until we were behind a few layers of trees.
Gotta be careful, in case we run into anyone out here again. So I grabbed a weapon.
What weapon? He flashed the knife that he had tucked away in his waistband, taking it out to hold in his free hand. You could have just carried that in your mouth, or literally anywhere that wouldn't have possibly hurt you.
I didn't cut myself, it's fine. Besides, I had to grab something else.
What? He let go of my hand, reaching into his pocket, and pulled out something that looked vaguely familiar. I couldn't place it at first, but then it clicked. What didn't make sense was why. Is that a half of one of the medals?
Seemed like it. That's why I grabbed it.
But why?
It doesn't make sense to me. Why would half of a medal wind up here? It was some dumb game that Benson got us to do. So, why is one of the medals out here?
You think he set this up? Got the Mafia to show up and gave them a medal?
I don't know, but something's up. But first, we have to get back.
My eyes were still on the knife in his hand, and I realized why it looked familiar. That's Jack's.
Probably.
We should get out of here before he notices it's missing then. We set off carefully, first at a fast walk, and then once the light of the cabin was behind us, we started to run, every now and again stopping to not only catch our breath, but listen out for anyone in the woods with us. Memphis was unaccounted for, and there was no telling if Jack or Dom had left the cabin in search for us, not to mention Dean or Roswell. Our eyes had adjusted to the dark, and the moment I started to hear water, I tapped Tyson on the shoulder, and we headed off towards the only landmark we could navigate towards in the dark. As the river came into view, we did something else. I grabbed Ty to pull him back just in case.
What is it?
This is the place, Ty. This is the place I ran into Jack.
Well, it's not the house, so let's get going.
As we turned to leave, I noticed movement near the entrance of the mill and ducked out of sight, Tyson doing the same. He urged me, quietly, to follow, but I stayed watching, and I was glad I did. Wait, look. Oh, it's the friendly bear. The moment we spotted him, Tyson stepped out of the corner. I was surprised that he was so readily willing to stop hiding, but he marched right up to Dean as if it was nothing. Ah, hello, Michael. Almost or over a year. Wait, didn't we do one just back in November? Maybe? I'd have to double check. Though I didn't expect Tyson to punch Dean in the gut. It didn't seem like his heart was in it, but it still looked like it wouldn't hurt. Wait, it wouldn't hurt somewhat.
What was that for? More importantly, what are you doing out here?
I stepped out enough so I could make my presence known, drawing a groan out from Dean.
What was the point in me heading in if you were going to follow me anyway?
Maybe? Okay, Michael. Okay. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'd have to check as well. But you know how it is. You never came back. You said at sundown.
That's true. Not to mention, we have no fucking clue how to get off the mountain. Otherwise. So we would have just been left waiting for Roswell to get back if you didn't. Which he didn't. No Roswell either?
You expected him to be back by now?
I've been out searching and haven't seen him. Haven't seen anyone aside from you two.
No one at all?
Great. We both head out and get snatched, and Dean has a nice stroll by himself. What do you mean, snatched?
We just escaped from a cabin where we'd been tied up. I got grabbed by, I'd assume, Dom. Tyson, too, probably.
Yeah, no way the rabbit would have been able to pin me like that.
I don't know. Maybe Jack is strong. Maybe.
Roswell wasn't there either?
Nope.
So either dead or somehow missed all the excitement like you did. Well, I'm glad you're both all right.
You were in the mill, anyway? Oh, why were you in the mill?
I was looking.
In the quiet of the night, we heard something echo out from inside the mill. Dean looked over his shoulder before Tyson grabbed him by the shirt, and we made a break back for the trees to hide. We just waited, watching the entrance just in case, occasionally shooting each other worried looks, as if to check if it was safe again. And just as we thought it'd be safe to talk, another sound would come up and we'd clam up. Minutes passed, and right as Tyson was about to crack, we saw movement. Ah, okay. Stepping out from the entrance was a tall dragon, taller than Sal even, though he was familiar to me. I'd been in his presence before at Orlando's house. Yeah, with him, he seemed to have a box of something. Whatever it was seemed heavy. Though I didn't stop him from wait, precariously balancing his gun on the top. Okay, I got there. I got there. We could see him mumbling about something as he wandered off through the trees, likely toward the cabin. Once we stopped hearing him, though, we looked to one another, unsure. Orlando's dad.
That fucker is huge! And armed. Plus, whatever was in the box isn't going to be good.
It's not going to be just food or something.
With how heavy that looked. What could possibly be in there if not food?
Shoot Haas? Isn't it usually Dom that shoots Haas? Or is it... I mean, it's always Memphis that kills Orlando, right? Maybe. Nothing good, that's for sure.
Oh, fuck. What? You said they had you tied up, right?
Well, he usually shoots... Okay. Yeah?
What's going to happen when they notice you're missing? Oh, fuck.
You think they'd go back to the house?
You want to take that risk? Have you let Haas know? And Sal, I guess. Poor Orlando.
Oh, yeah, let's go! He's gonna get shot. He's gonna get shot.
Sure, him too. Point is, we need to move. Now.
We set off, quickly, and Dean led the way with Tyson close behind and me tailing behind. That's okay. So much so that Tyson kept looking over his shoulder to make sure I was close behind, and if I wasn't, he'd stop to grab me and drag me forward, so I kept pace. I stopped registering how cold it was in an effort to get back to the house faster, wondering if we'd know when our absence was discovered. Between our heavy breathing and the occasional comment that we need to keep going, no words were shared. It wasn't a run so much as a jog, but for the middle of the night, with nearly no sleep, it was taking its toll. Wait, I need a breather.
All right, a couple of minutes, and then we really need to keep going. I can go on ahead. You can rest up. No, we're sticking together. Last thing we need is you getting ambushed out there again.
Tyson growled, but left it at that. Dean was right, though my mind was elsewhere. How can Roswell still be unaccounted for? You don't think he died, right? If he just drops dead off screen, like wouldn't that be fantastic?
Like killed or
either?
Do we just assume he's dead?
Yes. I don't want to assume that.
You might have to. A bit rough, but I think I agree. We can't risk sticking around if we can get off the mountain safely. None of it matters unless we get back to the house and get out of here. I can't be worrying about him if we're dead.
Dean nodded, and they both looked at me, already looking to get going again. All right, fine. Okay, let's go. We continued on, though. This time, we followed the river down. Dean was the first one to suggest we start heading further in, or rather than risk being further away just by following the water all the way downstream. Tyson, at this point, had stopped checking in on me keeping up, though I'd made the effort not to fall behind. We were close. I just had to stay awake and keep moving along enough that we could get to safety. Or at the very least, back to the house.
Hey!
Dean bellowed into the foyer the moment we got inside, though was quickly jabbed in the ribs by Tyson. I stuck my head into the dining room to see if anyone was around and almost jumped when I heard voices behind me. Okay.
You're back!
Orlando's eyes fell on me, and I could see his expression shift immediately to disappointment.
Dave, you have some explaining to do.
I have explaining to do. Orlando. Please. I went out to find Tyson.
Which you did, though you had the three of us worried. Three. So I take it Roswell still hasn't come back. No, not yet. He's not with you either. No, I only ran into Tyson and Dave out there. Well, plus your dad apparently. Before I get into explaining why you not coming back when you said you would was cause for concern, you ran into Memphis.
Not exactly. He was just coming out of the watermill.
Watermill?
The place where I ran into Jack.
No, I get that. Why was he there? I'm mostly just thankful that I didn't run into him when I was checking the place out. I'm sorry. What are you sorry for?
Sorry for what? Anyway.
Dave, did Dean say what I think he just said?
That he was checking the place out? That's when Tyson and I found him anyway, just walking out of there as if it was nothing.
Why were you in there? The sun had already set, and so you would have been back well and truly before then. I was looking for Roswell. You should have stopped searching by then. But I only just found it. It was worth checking. I swear, the next thing I'm going to hear is that you're working for my dad, or literally anyone in my family. I'm not.
Real quick, just to stop this from becoming a witch hunt, he's telling the truth.
No offense, Dean. Or, full offense, because I really don't care. He's not smart enough to hide that from us this long. Thanks, jeez.
Like, okay. I mean, he's not the smartest bar in the world, is he? He is cute, though. But why did you come back when the sun was... Wait, why didn't you come back when the sun was setting? Like you said you would. Like, yeah, searching for Roswell, but I thought we decided that you'd call off the search.
You're right. I did intend on coming back, but I thought I saw Benson.
Benson?
That doesn't make sense. When we saw him leave, he was unconscious. I don't know what it was I saw, but that's what it seemed like. Couldn't find him afterwards, though. Now that you mention it, Benson wasn't where Dave and I were holed up either.
They also said that our friend had done something, so Roswell did something to save Benson, maybe.
But what?
Maybe he cut a deal.
What kind of deal? Jack seemed annoyed about whatever it was he did.
Well, yeah, because then Jack couldn't, like, do, like, fun things. He couldn't do
fucking homos.
Tyson, I'm right here.
Look, now's not the time to unpack, if Dom and Jack are roommates or whatever. Is it something, we can use potentially? Their, working relationship. Depends how their boss takes it. Which, from what I've managed to gather so far, not well. But for now, we have no idea what to do. What happened to Roswell or Benson? And that we're back to where we started before everyone started going into the woods. I said I was sorry for that.
You literally didn't.
Okay, well, if you two are discovered missing, and chances are that you will be soon if you haven't already, we should be ready. What are you saying? That we should prepare? I'm rested enough. I'll take first shift. You're probably exhausted from being out in the woods for so long, Dean. Admittedly, yeah, I kinda am. I'll keep a lookout in case they come by. It'd be best if we could have multiple people awake, but sleep is also important.
Or you could just leave the mountain, you know? I don't know why, but I feel like reading Path D, was it Path C or D, where, like, what's his name? Dave was able to get off the mountain, no problem. Well, like, he said it was difficult climbing down the mountain, but that it's possible. So now forever since reading that, I'm like, you can just escape. There's no reason why you can't. Dave did it in one timeline. You know what I mean? Anyone wanting to volunteer?
Hoss, I'm preemptively telling you to shut it, but should something go wrong, I can yell pretty loud.
It's more of a shriek, but yeah, that makes sense.
Dave!
I'll stay up too. With some coffee, I'll be good to go. It means we can have eyes both out in the front and the back. They haven't thought of it because plot reasons. Yeah, it's true.
All right, we'll do that. Anyone not on watch should get a nap if they can, or just rest their eyes just in case. The last thing we want is to be running while exhausted. Adrenaline can only do so much. I doubt I'm going to be able to sleep, but all right. I'll go sit in the side room and rest my eyes after I've kept watching a little bit. I'm too jittery to really rest right away now that you're back. This sounds like a plan.
I watched as my friends started to peel away, Hoss with Tyson, Orlando with Dean, and Sal flashing me a quick smile before heading towards the back door. As much as I appreciate the smile, I could see the worry the moment the smile faded. Not that I was blind to how the others were disappointed that I'd headed into the woods. I could see it on their faces. I think I got a pass, if a small one, because we'd all returned safely. With the exception of Roswell, at least. I watched as the coffee started to brew, and then taking the mug in my hand, I drank deep. All things considered, I wasn't feeling too bad, though it was likely from Thanatos knocking me out. Did it even count as sleep? Did getting jumped in the woods and being knocked out count as sleep? It sure didn't feel like it. I feel like it as much as I was awake. Ah, hello, Maestro. Oh, goodbye, Maestro. Thank you for stopping by. I stepped outside to join Orlando in keeping watch, sitting down next to him on the steps.
Got your coffee?
Yep, got your,
You really shouldn't have gone out there, you know. You had us worried.
I couldn't have let Tyson and Dean and Roswell, like that's two ands, no commas, stay out there.
You could have gotten hurt. You did get hurt.
Not hurt, just grabbed. Is that what we're gonna start saying? We didn't hurt them, we just grabbed them. And I guess grabbing unconscious, but you know, otherwise fine.
Dave, that's not exactly fine.
When I woke up, I'd just been tied up, same with Tyson, but no stabbing or being shot or anything. No meat hooks today, not yet.
Well, I guess Dominic does like his job to be easy.
And killing us would have made things harder.
I don't really want to get into that, but yeah, it would have. They're, referred to as cleaners.
Uh-huh.
Dad hates dealing with them, and doesn't mind things getting messy, but if Dominic thinks keeping things easy and simple, then probably something they agree on.
How does taking us prisoners keep things simple? I mean, I'm glad they didn't, but they could have just killed us and left us out in the woods.
Well, if I had to guess, either Dad had a plan, or this was spearheaded by Dominic.
Meaning?
Meaning there might be some compassion we could appeal to if we get him alone, even after he said he was, when he was here last.
What about Jack? I wouldn't worry about Jack. And Jack, Thanatos wandered out from the front door, stopping beside Orlando and then scrambling up onto his lap.
Get off my leg!
No. With a single motion, Orlando flicks him off? That's so rude. Though it looked closer to Thanatos, barely managing to dodge out of the way. Regardless, he made his way over to me to sit on my lap instead.
Dave, if you push me off, we're going to have problems.
What do you want, Thanatos?
I was just wanting to contribute to Night Watch.
Contribute? How?
See, I can't do what I had in mind with you both out here. And what did you have in mind? I need to borrow Orlando for a bit, actually.
That's not what I was expecting. Another reason why Orlando sucks. I know he's rude to best boy.
Neither, but I'm not going anywhere. It doesn't matter if we leave and Dave stays here, or if Dave heads inside for a couple minutes. Only a couple minutes. What could it possibly be?
What do you think, Orlando? Should we let him, or?
Hell no! This is just an exercise in futility. I already know how this is going to play out.
Really?
Of course. Like I don't know you were going to go into the woods. Anyway, and come back safe and sound. Otherwise, why would I have let you go? Because you're an asshole. I'm a robot. I have no stakes in this.
You kind of do, though.
Look, are you coming or not? Not on your life. Well then, here's the thing. Dave's out of coffee.
Looking down into my mug, I found he was right, and I started getting antsy.
So you have one of two options. Go with him to the kitchen to stick together, but leave the front door unguarded. Or split off in some capacity, which ensures I have you to myself. Or Dave could just go without coffee for once.
The yawn that immediately followed earned me a glare from Orlando, as if daring me to speak. Orlando, stop being dumb.
So the way I see it, you really don't have an option. I'm going to get my way whether you like it or not.
Will you take Orlando away for a couple minutes?
Dave, I'm not going anywhere. More accurately, what I need him for will take a couple minutes, and he might not be back right away. It's important. If I can do this, can you promise that Dave is going to be fine, and nothing bad is going to happen? Can you be more specific?
Okay. I love Thanatos. He's great. Jack, Dom, and Memphis aren't going to show up while you have taken him away, right?
Oh no, you're fine on that front. And no other murderers are going to happen while I'm away.
Why do all the characters like to baby Dave again? Because Dave is baby. Dragos, have you not seen the portrait of Dave where you can see like the loading pinwheel above his head? Like or you're just like, oh no, this boy, you need to like you need to hold his hand to do anything. Like, yeah, Dave should never be left to his own devices. This game does prove that.
Promise. Fine, but we're going to get coffee for Dave while we talk. If I'm not keeping watch, I'm at least going to continue to contribute. Fine by me.
Orlando got up, and Thanatos jumped off my lap. The pair of them disappeared inside. I looked from between the door to the front lawn, waiting for something to happen, but eventually I heard something. It was a sharp sound, something that hurt my head, and then soon after was a dull, if loud thud. Something that didn't sound right, and it brought me to my feet. What was that? Why are you here? I shouldn't be mean to him. Roswell's fine. It's just really funny. I almost jumped out of my fur as I turned to see Roswell standing there off to the side. Halfway through his stride, it looked like. Roswell, you're alive! Yep, still alive. What happened? Where were you? I went into the woods with Dominic. You know that. No, that much I know. What happened after that? We were worried. That's a loaded question. Oh my god. Still, Dean went into the woods looking for you, then Tyson, then I did. But you all made it back, or? Yeah, well, yeah, but not after getting grabbed by Dominic and being tied up. Well, how much did I miss? Why were you gone for so long? What have you been doing, Roswell? Meaning? I fell unconscious out in the woods. Are you kidding me? A likely story. A likely story indeed, Roswell. I don't believe you. And? You're just not gonna question that? You're just not gonna oh, I just felt I realize it's Roswell. But come on. Come on. And I was unconscious. When I woke up, I started to make my way back, but it was dark. Anything that happened between when I passed out and now I have no idea about. What happened to Benson? What do you mean? Dominic had him. I stared Roswell down, unsure. Should we go find the others and tell them what happened, or? And why were you outside? Waiting for Memphis, Jack, and Dominic to show up. Because? Because I was grabbed out in the woods, and they tied me up and dumped me in some room in a cabin. But we escaped. Apparently, one of my friends did something that made them mad. But Benson also wasn't there. So. Ah, right. What did you? Yeah. Oh. So what did you do? I don't want to dodge the question, but I think it's better we assemble everyone for this, or at the very least, more than just us. Why? Everyone else is resting, just in case we need to run for it. We might not need to, though we'd be taking a gamble. What makes you say that? Ah, Chase, hello. I still know the way off the mountain. Dom upheld this part of the deal, at the very least. Great. Where is it? Let's head inside and tell everyone at once. Roswell walked past me into the foyer, despite my protest, looking around for the others. Roswell, wait! Me saying his name must have been enough, as I thought already, as I could already hear people starting to resurface. The moment Haas and Dean stepped out of the side room, they saw Roswell come right over. Haas didn't look too impressed, and Dean just looked wary.
Oh, you have some explaining to do, Roswell.
I'm glad Haas knows. I'm glad that Haas is like, this is stupid. Explanations are needed. I do.
I don't know. Do you? An explanation would be good to know. What took you so long, especially given Dave and Tyson went in.
I had it handled, and no one had to come in looking for me. I was just sleepy. Oh my god.
Sleepy, that's all. That's why I couldn't find you. I'm calling bullshit on that. But right now it doesn't matter. How'd the exchange go? It's also like you... Wait, it's also like... Yeah, that's what it says. I'd also like to know what happened to Benson. Pretty sure I saw him out in the woods.
You did?
I was telling Dave earlier, though I saw him. I thought I saw him, but it might not have been him. It disappeared real quick, though I couldn't track him.
Well, it's not like this. Dominic led me into the woods and got a fair way in before Benson started waking up.
Wasn't he drugged?
I guess the dosage wasn't high enough. But I noticed then made a move to try and get Benson free by attacking Dominic.
And how did you manage to take him down?
Would you believe a scalpel to the back of the knee?
No. What would you even need to do to take down a bear?
Let alone leave him basically unscratched. He seemed fine when Tyson and I ran into him. All right, I had to cut him a deal.
Okay, what kind of deal? We already had one.
Benson waking up was going to be a problem and end up in a fight. And Dominic wanted an easy job. And if left unchecked, Benson could absolutely cause Memphis some trouble, or put Dominic in immediate danger.
Isn't that a good thing for us? Sounds like a good idea.
I pitched it to like this: it was me and him out in the woods, but because Benson was waking up, his options were to cut me a deal or try and figure out a way to keep Benson restrained enough to hand him over to Memphis.
But he could have killed him.
Which was kind of the sticking point to our deal. He could kill Benson, but was it worth having to explain that to Mensis? Why it was just me there?
You know that this isn't making any sense, right?
Let me put it this way. I lied to Dominic's face and made another deal for Benson's life, then allowed Benson to go free. But I had to go with Dominic to meet with Mensis instead.
So far, so good. But then how are you back?
Mensis let me go.
You're lying.
He just let you go? I gave him what he wanted, told me the way off the mountain, and I made my way back. Then at some point I fell unconscious because I'm useless. Before I could meet back up with Benson and made my way back here.
That sounds plausible, but he was lying. Well, not exactly. What he said was the truth, as he believes it, but I don't believe it for a second. Does that mean Benson is out there in the woods still?
Honestly, no idea. Maybe. He could have gotten off the mountain by now, but I only found the way off after we'd split.
Is it possible he fell unconscious like you did?
No idea.
Wait, so just so I understand it, you left yesterday, spent all day unconscious, and then woke up and wandered here? Nothing happened in between?
It's bad when you put it that way, but yeah, pretty much.
That sounds too convenient. But I'll believe it for now. It checks out, but this is absurd.
I'm glad that Haas is on the right page. I'm sorry to change the topic like this, but is it fine if I go get something to eat? I haven't eaten for a whole day. Oh, shut the fuck up, Roswell. I can go days without eating, so can you. Sure. Just mind the dragon on the floor when you do. I'm sorry?
Why's Orlando on the floor? I knocked him out, obviously. But why? But also, thanks for not knocking me out this time.
Yeah, if things are this bad, why did you take Orlando out?
I'm hoping to set Roswell up for something. Some heroic moment that might pay off later.
And
if it doesn't?
Well...
he was being annoying, so whatever.
Roswell scooped Thanatos up and lightly slapped him on the head. That's so rude. That's so rude. Or maybe it was an aggressive pat, I couldn't tell. Aside from being unconscious, is he at least unhurt? Like you made sure he wasn't going to fall in a weird way.
That wasn't really my priority. Well, time to go, make sure my friend is alright.
Haas threw his hands up, heading towards the kitchen, shaking his head.
Fair warning, his ass is, up in the doorway, so you might need to go the other way.
You didn't think to time it so he'd be in a more convenient place? Kick Roswell out, yeah. Roswell and Orlando, they need to go. They're rude to the sweetest child in this game.
Why would that matter? Someone loop me in. I was getting bored trying to get some sleep with everyone talking out here.
Dean disappeared at this point out the front door, probably to keep tabs on what was going on while we were talking things out. Roswell is back. Orlando was unconscious. Apparently Benson is somewhere, but we know where the route off the mountain is now. Speaking of, where is that? The watermill.
Excuse me. He said the watermill.
Wait. Wait. So Thanatos knows where the exit is, right? Was he like specifically told he couldn't tell everyone? Am I remembering this incorrect? Why would Roswell do this? You mean... Probably why you ran into Jack there, trying to keep you away from escaping, maybe.
And Dean is going to be pissed that he was so close to the exit.
Explains why Memphis was there, too.
I think Benson knew about it.
Maybe. Would seem strange that he'd know about it, but not mention it to anyone else. Anyone, given how dire things are, though. Well, now that we know where it is, can't we just go there now? It's a bit of a walk, but we could leave. That's a little complicated, even with Orlando currently out of commission.
Complicated how?
Memphis was happy to tell me the way off the mountain, but said it wasn't going to help us. Apparently only he can use that path. And we're sure?
Chances are he wouldn't say it where it was, unless he was able to taunt you over it.
But that's awful.
We can't risk it. If they're coming here, then let's go there.
And not that we can really do that with Orlando unconscious. Find a wheelbarrow, toss the dragon in, be on your way.
Fuck.
There's a greenhouse. There's probably a wheelbarrow. There's probably a wagon that can be used. They're not helpless. It does beg the question about what hard pass on that, Thanatos. We need to get ready. For whatever it is to hit us.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, as if none of us had thought about that already.
Here's what I think. They're going to make their way here to collect the vault, so we can either run or meet them here. And then, once we've decided which way to go, we have to secure a way home. Well, obviously we run, right? Where?
Where do you think?
The road is out, the watermill is a risk, and even I'm not sure about that gamble. So we meet them here? To do what? Roswell started to fidget, not wanting to elaborate.
To be honest, that's the whole town. That's the whole hometown advantage. A thing to consider too. Out there, who knows where they'll be.
You're not suggesting we stay here and set up a trap, are you? Yeah, it's not the best idea, but it's one of the few we have.
Here's a better idea. How about we just leave? I think I could climb the gap in the road.
Can you be so sure you'll make it, and that no one's going to be on the main road to stop you?
We know that Jack and Dom, were at the shack, and we saw Memphis at the watermill.
Well, sure, but... Also,
Orlando was unconscious. And?
Dave
isn't going to leave him behind.
Thanatos, have you seen all this play out?
Yeah, I have. I know how this goes down, for the most part.
What do you mean by that?
It comes down to if you trust me and believe what I'm about to say.
I looked at Tyson, who was already looking my way, and then a moment later, he made a move for the dining room.
I'm going to see if I can wake that fat ass up. The sooner he's up, the sooner we can go.
How bad are we looking?
You know how bad, Roswell.
You can't possibly mean...
I do. But if you want things to play out differently, we're going to have to take some risks.
What risks?
Dave, here's what we need to happen. Everyone needs to stay in the house. We're going to wait for Jack and Dominic to show up.
But that's... So we set a trap?
No. No traps.
But that's crazy. What do we do when they show up? I'm with Dave on this one. You just expect us to do nothing?
I do. It maximizes the most people surviving.
The most, or all?
Look, do you want some of your friends to survive, or what? Or for everyone to die here?
I want them all to live, Thanatos. God, gotta be so picky. Like, gotta just you want it all, Dave. Sometimes you don't get that. And there's no chance of that happening at all?
You don't want the answer to that. I refuse to believe it. There has to be a way. We could leave. Where will you go?
Home?
Without dealing with Memphis. How will you sleep knowing he's out there, possibly looking for you? That he won't stop until he's gotten exactly what he wants?
No. There has to be something we can do. This can't be how things happen. How they ended up for us. How much time do we have?
Until.
I look at Roswell, and he gave him a nod, heading towards the front door. I'm going to get help. If Benson disappears to go get help, then maybe I can leave with Dean or something and cross the hole in the road. We only have to get as far as the reception again, right? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was just moving a window.
A bad idea, Dave. If you go out that door, you will not be entering this mansion alive again.
Almost immediately, I turn around and start to head out towards the back door instead.
Can you sit still? I said to wait for the bad guys to show up.
Unless there's a password to figure out in the vault downstairs, I can't just sit tight. Is that why you ended up in the forest before? Kind of.
Oh, for the love of... Roswell, sit down. Dave, come back here. Shut up, and then sit down.
And then what?
Less talk more. Even less talking.
Is it really just waiting? We can't do anything else?
Well, I prepared Orlando for what's about to happen, so all that's left is you two.
You don't mean... Hello, Chase. Thanatos was a bastard. He hit me with that sound, and I saw Roswell crumple too. If it was anything like what he'd done to me before, and like what he'd done to Tyson, I knew that things were going to be sore when I came to. The last thing I was conscious of before it all went black was the sound of our hurried steps back inside. Dean or Sal, maybe. It was hard to say. When I opened my eyes, my chest felt heavy. I could feel the heat of the fire, the burn of it on my fur, and in my lungs from the amount of smoke around us. I pushed myself up to my knees, and my hands and knees looked around, though there wasn't much to see. Parts of the house had fallen around me. The front door blocked off from where things had collapsed in front of it. I couldn't see my friends. I couldn't see Thanatos or any of the bad guys we were meant to be expecting. Somehow, deep down, I had a resigned feeling that I knew that this was how things ended. That this was just how things had to be. The heavy stomping drew my attention as he stepped through the rubble. A part of him was on fire. Okay, but he seemed to not notice or even care. But I could tell, even with the heat making it hard to focus, that his red scales were hid in the smear of blood that he'd collected over who knows how long. I feel like Dave is gonna suffer brain damage from the number of times he's been knocked. Yeah. You know what? I trust Thanatos, though. I trust him. Whose blood was it even? Was it one of my friends? But he picked his gun up off the ground, dusting it off casually, and then sizing me up.
So who's the last one?
The gun came to rest, pointed at me, right as I heard another loud bellow from somewhere, someone roaring over the flames. I expected the gunshot after I closed my eyes, but instead was a crash, a thud, and then it all quieted down. It must have been all I was allowed to see, which felt strange when I thought about it. Was Thanatos choosing what I could and couldn't see, or how much even? If so, why was he choosing these moments? More importantly, if he wasn't, then what was the purpose of putting us under like this at all? Now I was sitting in the middle of the hedge maze. I was weak, hungry, and tired, but I was awake. Around me was no one again, but I was by myself. I'm telling you, you're missing one. I could feel myself tensing up, shrinking into a corner, just so I was as small as possible. The scent of blood was in the air, and I cowered hearing their voices closer.
Shame about Haas. He was a good guy.
Even in this flashback forward thing, Hasu die, as is tradition. He was the lion. If you liked him so much, why didn't you marry him? Oh, right, he's dead. Fucking love Jack. I could hear Jack cackling before being cut off suddenly, making a choking sound instead.
The hell did I hear you say? Nothing, boss. Let him go. Oh. Look at him try and cut me. Reckon his head will pop right off like that pig. Boss, please.
The sharp intake of air, followed by coughing, came after, though only one set of footsteps seemed to continue moving around.
So is there one more or not? I'm done waiting.
My breath caught in my chest. I heard them come closer, but it was Dom's voice that made me almost pass out.
No, boss. No one else. Jack's just imagining things.
My heart stopped next as I heard the gunshot. But who was shot? I had no idea.
Get up. We have a job to finish.
Then he started to walk away, just like that. A few moments passed before I could hear someone pick themselves up and start to wander away as well. Their feet heavy, but the weight not accompanying it. It must have been Jack. I breathed a sigh of relief and checked my phone. Doing a double take, I had reception. Immediately, I called for help. Hello? Oh, it's Hoyt. It's Hoyto. Hoyto-chan.
Hello. Who's this?
It's Dave. David's son, the hyena.
Oh, yeah. How are you doing, kid?
Not great. Can you send the police, please?
What happened? Are you in danger?
Everyone is dead. The road is out. The house is probably gone. I'm the only one left.
Okay, slow down. Where are you?
The phone was plucked from my hand, Memphis holding it up to his face.
Sorry. Wrong number.
Then, in a single motion and a wicked grin, he crushed my phone in his grip.
Now that that's done, let's have a little chat, shall we?
Oh, Jack was a little frowny boy then. He pointed his gun at me and motioned for me to stand up, though the world went black then and there. How was any of this useful? How was any of this going to help what was happening when I woke up? God, put some pants on, Orlando. Okay. This time when I woke up, I was burning. I could smell the singed fur, the burning wood, the blood, the smoke. Orlando was holding me carefully, but he was running way hotter than normal.
Oh God, Dave! Dave!
He shook me gently, and I coughed, trying to sit up.
No, don't! Don't move!
Orlando? Where?
No, don't talk either. I only barely pulled you out of there.
I look around. Though limited to what I could see from how Orlando had me, I sniffed the air in vain. Roswell? Looking up at him, I could see the expression he was giving me, trying to keep his eyes averted. Dean? Sal? The slow shaking of his head made the sinking feeling in my chest and stomach all the worse. A feeling of hollow despair started to bloat out even the pain from the burns across my body. Anyone?
I'm sorry, Dave. It's just us.
I felt myself go limp, staring upwards into the sky. Everyone was gone. Did they die in the fire? It was short, but I got the idea. A fire, everyone died. It was about what was expected.
Well, well, we can't leave them like this. What should we do then? Has Sal found Thanatos yet? If he'd found him, I think he would have come back by now.
I was flat on my back in the middle of the foyer, next to Roswell. From what I could tell, Roswell was unconscious too.
Dave, are you alright?
I think so. I like how just upset Haas looks. Like he's not quite angry, but he's miffed. He's miffed, as it were. He's done for the day. He wants it to end. He wants that gunshot.
That's one of you awake at least. Orlando and Roswell is still out of it. What happened anyway?
Last thing I said before Thanatos did this thing was like
Oh, I can't find him. Maybe we should have let Tyson search instead, and leave him with watching over Orlando. Tyson needs to learn to calm down. If he was given free reign, free run of the house, there's every chance he'd get distracted or wander off. Give him some credit. He wouldn't leave us like that. As his friend, I can almost guarantee you that he'd up and bail if it meant keeping Dave safe. It's why he ran off into the woods.
How long was I out anyway?
Long enough. 1 hour, 13 minutes, and some amount of seconds, probably.
Thank you, Sal.
You're not even, wearing a watch. It's an estimated guess. You could have just said an hour and left it at that.
And the others still haven't woken up? Why did I wake up first?
More importantly, why did you end up unconscious?
Thanatos said he needed to prepare us for what's about to happen. He wanted to talk to Orlando and probably knocked him out, then did the same to us.
I'm starting to think. I'm starting not to like how he does that. Only starting.
Well, did he prepare you or not? I don't know. I sat up, looking down at Orlando and then to the other three. When I was unconscious, I just saw things.
What kind of things?
There was nothing good I could say to him.
Dave?
Just what could happen. How many of us died compared to, well, that. And there was a fire? I look across to Roswell, who sat up suddenly and with Sal kneeling beside him, seemingly stunned by how quickly Roswell had gotten up.
Fire?
Almost immediately, he starts to breathe heavy and start crying. Dean awkwardly patted him on the head, unsure of how best to help him. I saw it. I saw the fire. He saw it too? Too? Yeah, when I was unconscious, I remember being inside the house when it was burning, and also outside of the house too. What? I saw the fire? You're sure?
The house is going to catch fire? How? Why?
It's one of the ways we deal with Memphis, or a way the story ends, anyway. He stood up, brushing himself off and wiping his face, and then he offered a hand out to me and helped me up. We still have time until Memphis and the others show up, but not a lot of time.
So what do we do?
Is Orlando still out?
I believe so. Why?
How do you think the fire breaks out? It's got to be either Orlando or his father that starts the fire for sure.
You can set fire in other ways, but I guess leave it to two dragons to breathe fire on the house, I suppose.
Orlando wouldn't do that, would he? He might. All we have to deal with is everything else. Okay.
You say that as if it's easy enough to just handle something like Memphis. What needs to be done?
A few things, but I'll try and remember more of the specifics. He paced a little before turning back to us and nodding. To start, we need to monitor Orlando. As someone that's the root cause of the fire, we need to. We need to make sure that if he's going to start it, we're prepared.
And if he doesn't?
Then we have him ready to help out when things start getting too hot. He's fireproof, after all.
He is?
Only fireproof, though. He'd still die to a bullet, a knife, or any other thing, including the smoke. But he's a but he's a resource to be used. Is that what we think of Orlando? Simply a resource to be used. Tyson's looking after him for the time being, so I guess that's covered. What else? Once they arrive, we need to make sure we're delaying them as much as possible. We need to annoy Memphis without him firing his gun, to which I volunteer for that.
Why you? Not that I'm volunteering.
Haas. You're volunteering to get put in front of a gun. That is how this works. Because one of the things Thanatos showed me was me doing it. If things go out exactly the same, it'll work.
That's a big risk to take.
And it's not as if we have any alternatives. So, we leave Memphis to you. Keep Orlando under watch, but that still leaves Dominic and Jack. That's the bad thing. I don't know exactly how to deal with either of them.
So what? We're just going to ask them to stay out of the way while we deal with Memphis. Which, might I add, we're just casually talking about killing a dude who's trying to kill us.
You might be able to reason with Dominic.
What? Why Dominic? Wouldn't I be better for that?
I would have thought so, given you're both bears. It was in one of the things Thanatos showed me. Something Dominic said about you, Haas. Thought you were a good guy.
I'd be flattered if I didn't notice the use of past tense there.
Jack doesn't like you, though.
Great.
Do you think that that Dominic talks about Haas as he's fucking Jack, and that's why Jack doesn't like Haas? Could be possible. We need Thanatos. Anyone see him? They were looking for him when I woke up, which wasn't long before you did. Alright, Dave and I will go looking for Thanatos in the meantime. I'd suggest someone remain by Orlando, and then decide on who's going to confront Jack. Make it Dave, not Dean. Make it Dean. It'll be funny. Once that's decided, we barricade the front and back doors.
I'll do it.
Ty, really?
I'm getting bored watching over someone who's sleeping.
But Jack's dangerous.
And if someone's gonna do it, then I may as well volunteer.
There's a very high risk that whoever does it is going to be injured or worse. You know that, right?
And I'd rather make sure it's not one of my friends. And you think that you'd have a decent shot of, doing whatever it is you need to. You think you have any better shot at it. If you do, it's all fucking yours. No, that's fine. If someone has to do it, and you're fine volunteering.
You'll be fine. You'll at least be careful, right? The look he gave me was a mix between stern and uncertain. He wasn't angry, but I knew that he was in his own way scared about what he was putting himself towards. For what it's worth, that is probably the best outcome.
Because?
Based on sheer probability. If this is an idea that you came up with yourself, then it's likely correct. From the times I've seen it play out, more times than not, you and I are the last ones alive. Hold on. Roswell turns to me, confused. What? Times? Plural? What else did you get shown, shown things like this? It's less when, but more. How do I put this?
Don't you? You don't. I do.
We both look over to the stairs where Thanatos was standing, shaking his head. Well?
You weren't the first choice, Dave. Almost everyone under this roof, to an extent or another, was chosen to see you all through to the end of the month.
That many?
Before you go worrying about it, there was almost no difference between anyone else aside from you, Orlando, and Dave here.
Roswell, me, and Orlando? Because we can use the vault.
Very good, Dave. But yes, only the three of you have the genetic code necessary for it.
Me and Orlando. I get. Okay, I get. Our dads are coded in, but Roswell.
It's simple, right? Obviously, his dad is coded in.
And there are many reasons why I could argue that that's not the case. I promise that he's not.
It's probably be a little too convenient, right?
I looked across to Thanatos, who was staring at me. The way we had our eyes locked was as if he was trying to spur me on to remembering something. What about his mother? My mother? If I remember right, the four people that are coded into the vault are Memphis, my dad, Oswin, and his sister Florencia.
I'm noticing a lack of Dave or Roswell or Orlando on that list. So any descendants works fine.
Which means if Oswin isn't Roswell's dad, there's still a way he could use the vault, right?
It also means that Oswin was Roswell's uncle. Something that Roswell would have known about this whole time.
Roswell, did you know? I did, yes. But I didn't think that was important.
And why wouldn't that be important? You had a family member wandering around the house this whole time. Heck, let's add Benson into the mix, and if he's Oswin's actual butler.
As opposed to what?
Some would say some sort of champion, I'm sure.
Gross.
You're telling me.
So Oswin is your uncle, that's all, but he's dead. We can talk about it if you want, but it is really going to change anything. He's gone now. Benson's gone for now, too. I don't know. Shouldn't we talk about it anyway? So many things happened, and he probably is the reason we're here in the beginning, to begin with, right?
Not that we'll ever know.
Haas looked away, shaking his head.
This isn't over. But if we have Dominic and Jack coming, we should do something about it.
Right. Any immediate ideas, or should we just start barricading the door?
My question is, how we're meant to talk to any of them if they're already breaking inside.
Is there a way to make sure that we're going to encounter only one of them at a time?
Maybe, though I'm not sure on the details.
What do you remember?
The next step is getting up bombs as contingency.
Bombs? A little bit of overkill, don't you think?
Hey, for what it's worth, they almost never go off, so...
What do you mean? We know they're, where they're setting off bombs, but we're not more worried about that. Where? Where do they set the bombs?
Just outside, around the house, outside of the house.
And who sets them?
Thankfully for us, Dominic.
I know where this is going. Will Haas be all right there? Be all right out there with Dominic?
That's where we'll need Tyson. Needs to run an interception on Jack while Haas chats Dominic up.
I'm not seducing Dominic. So you say. But come on, Haas. Are you gonna say no to a whole ass bear? Like, come on. He's pretty good. He's pretty cute. Come on. He doesn't have to, right?
No, just try and reason with him. Whatever you do, keep yourself safe, and whatever you get going, whatever you get going is what we'll go with.
And while this is happening, Tyson's going to what? Talk to Jack? Even I know that's a bad idea.
Well, what else do you expect?
What if they fought?
Good idea.
That wasn't a suggestion.
You're sure Tyson survives along with Roswell? If I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have told you.
And to be honest, there were a lot of times where Tyson has just pulled through. So if we gamble on it, I don't want to gamble on it. I want a plan.
How about this? We send Haas and Tyson out together. Then we'll figure it out from there.
Not much of a plan, but fine. I looked over to Tyson, who had already started moving things around with Dean, so they were close to the door, though it wasn't clear just how much they'd been listening. I'll take Tyson, and we'll what? Just hang around outside until they show up?
They've got a couple of hours. You've got a couple of hours. Get a nap if you can, because you're gonna need it.
The fire starts in a couple hours?
No, just Dominic's arrival, then Jack, then Memphis, and the fire a bit later.
But how much later?
I'm just gonna go,
I'm just gonna go word Tyson up on what's happened. Okay. I've never heard that phrasing before.
I don't want to think about this anymore.
I watch him go, looking defeated at a loss. And not that I can blame him. My head was still spinning from what we're just experiencing with Thanatos putting us under, and the revelation that Roswell has been hiding things.
Well, now what?
Shouldn't you be telling us?
What do you want from me? It's just down to a waiting game. There's nothing more to do except wait.
Then, I want to talk to Roswell. I want to know everything. Everything?
You two should be sleeping.
Not until I get answers. Everything else... everything feels wrong. Like I'm missing something here.
All right, Dave.
Did neither
of you hear me?
We heard you. But trust me on this.
Fine. Just don't take too long.
Roswell turned and led the way towards the... way forward, heading upstairs and right into my bedroom, rather than his. Okay. He stopped in the middle of the room and turned towards me nervously, and I wondered where we should start. All right, so what exactly did you see when you were unconscious? Okay, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, guys? Okay. Okay, we will go back. Here we go. I'm also Opening an orange. Opening an orange? Yeah, that's the wording we want to use. I'm opening this orange. Because I like oranges. Okay. Yeah, is it all good? Wait a minute. Let me... That's fine. Give me one moment. We'll turn that off. Here. It says my internet's being really weird. Don't know how much that's really affecting the stream. Oh. Is my internet just dead? Internet, please. Okay. Weird. Okay. An unhealthy amount of supplements? No. Wait a minute.